How to implement progressive overload and why it's so important. Hi, my name's Kaylee and I am the owner of Evolve Fitness Coaching. I specialise in muscle growth for women. So make sure you hit subscribe for more tips and advice on your muscle growth journey. If you are wanting to build muscle, to build shape, build definition, you need to be making sure that you're implementing progressive overload and following a structured weightlifting program. This is usually the one main thing that I see women go wrong with, just not implementing progressive overload as they should, and going through the weeks just winging their workouts. That's not going to get us the juicy glutes. It's not going to get us the defined body that we want to be getting. And it's also not going to be getting you any stronger, gals. Like, we want to be getting stronger. We want to be doing everything we can to not only feel good, look good, but for longevity and to give us the best chance possible of being a freaking muscle mommy later down the line when we're a nan as well. So progressive overload, what is it? Progressive overload is essentially getting stronger, getting fitter in simple form. I'm going to talk about it specifically with weightlifting and strength training programs. Now, you might be assigned a rep goal of 8 to 10. Now, you might go in 1 week and you might get 8 reps. The next week now, we potentially want to push those reps up to 9. That's a form of progressive overload. If you've already reached the top end of your rep range, what you might actually want to do is up the weight, another form of progressive overload. You might have less rest, a form of progressive overload. Or you might improve your form and you might start feeling it in the right places and therefore you're having a more effective workout. That is also progressive overload. It's not just whacking up your weights willy-nilly every single week. Because let's be honest, that's not realistic. Especially for women, we've got our menstrual cycles. We're gonna have weeks where we maybe feel a little bit weaker in the gym. A lot of us might actually go through that, which is completely normal. And during those weeks, we might actually need to take it down a notch. We might have to focus on our form, but more often than not, we are going to be able to focus on progressive overload in some capacity. So let's go more specific and let's talk about rep ranges, bringing up weight. If you're someone at the moment who is going to the gym and you're lifting pretty much the same weight week on week because maybe you're a little bit afraid, you're not sure if you're going to get injured, you're not sure if you're going to be able to manage it, girl, we are going into the gym and we are going to train with intention. I want you to be really thinking about the lift that you are going to be progressing with over the next week. And I want you to implement these tips. How do we work through rep ranges? If you have a goal of 8 to 10 reps to get, you always want to aim to do your warm-up sets first and then go into your first working set with the most amount of energy, the most amount of strength. So we want to potentially be aiming for, let's say, 50 kilograms on your RDLs, easy maths, quick maths. Now for your warm-up set, we want to be aiming to lift around 50 to 60% of the weight you're going to lift. Now you've done your mobility, let's pretend that's done, it's done. Make sure you're doing it. We're going in, you might want to just do 4 reps with the bar and nothing else to get started. Really feel it in the right movements, right? Make sure your form is where it needs to be. You might then pop on 5 each side, taking you up to 30 kilograms. So you're gonna do 4 to 6 reps. Going through the motion with intention, feeling it in the right places, mind-muscle connection, getting your joints, getting your muscles loosey-goosey, ready for everything to come. You then might want to do one more warm-up set where you maybe pop on another 2.5, another 5 each side, taking you up to 40 kilograms. And you're just going to do a few reps, nothing crazy here. We're just going to get you used to the movement. Then we're going to be thinking, right, heads in the game. I've warmed myself up efficiently. We're going in for my first working set. So now I'm going to be aiming for 50 kilograms for 8 to 10 reps. If you get to 8 with a bit of ease and you have got a few reps left in the tank, girl, you keep going. Don't just stop at your rep range because it says 8 to 10. If you need to keep going, you keep going. You take that to note down and then you know next time you need to be starting heavier. If you're getting to 10 reps, you've got a 2 rep buffer. So you've come 2 reps above the lower end of your rep range. The lower end of your rep range would be 8 for 8 to 10 reps. At this point, you know you've got leeway to bring that weight up. So what are you going to do? Next time you go to the gym and you do that first working set, you're going to bring the weight up by 2.5 kilograms, maybe 5 kilograms. It does not need to be anything crazy. This is the smart way to go through progressive overload, to make sure that your form is still in a good place, to make sure that you're not putting yourself under any risk of injury, and you're still going to be feeling everything in the right places. Now, you might pop that weight up, and then you might get 8 reps in the next time. That is how we know we have progressively overloaded efficiently. And every single time then you go into that gym session, if you're at the bottom end of your rep range because that weight is heavy enough, next time we want to think, okay, I'll maybe see if I can get another rep in. You work up to 10 reps. At that point, that's when we want to maybe think about bringing the weight up slightly, moving back down to the bottom end of your rep range again. Now, going into set 2, when you have reached the top end of your rep range and you've maybe got a bit of a buffer, you can stick to that same weight going into set 2, because chances are if you've got to the very end of your rep range, there's maybe a couple of reps for you to be able to go in and get another set of 8 to 10. For the last set, you might need to drop it down. But if you're getting to the bottom end of your rep range, 8 out of 10, you know going into set 2, you probably need to bring that weight down. You've worked hard enough to start with, you fatigue those muscles, and we're probably going to need a bit of a drop down in order to get to set 2 and set 3. Now, the key here is to remember, we don't want to stop when something feels hard. It is the whole point. If your muscles are burning, if it's feeling like a challenging workout, that is what we want. We don't want to be going into the workout, coming out thinking, light work, that was easy. Not really feeling challenged at all. You don't want to be stopping when things are feeling hard. Stopping when things are feeling hard and stopping when you can't do any more, because then it might put you under a risk of injury. There's a big, big difference between those two. And building on your confidence will get you to the point where you can really establish between those two. The goal is always to progress within your workout and go into your training with intention, thinking, what am I going to focus on this week? What lift am I going to aim to progress on this week? Implement progressive overload and you will see and feel a massive difference to your results. Granted that your nutrition is where it needs to be, I am telling you now, you will come out of the gym feeling like you've got a bubble butt. You will come out of the gym feeling like an absolute muscle mommy. And that's what we want, right? We want to be able to walk out of the gym knowing that we've had a workout, because that's why we're going. So next time you go to the gym, I'm challenging you to pick one of your lifts to progressive overload on. Drop down in the comments what you're going to be trying, and I hope you have a great session. Remember to hit subscribe for any further tips and advice on your fitness journey, and you can also find me over on Instagram at Kaylee_evolve. I hope you have a great day and thank you for watching. Bye.